Hi everyone, I am Priyanka and you're welcome to the Terrace Kitchen. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make bento box cakes or mini cakes or tiffin box cakes. Let's get started. In a bowl, take 3/4 cup milk at room temperature. Add 1 teaspoon synthetic white vinegar, or you can alternatively use lemon juice. Mix and let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes. To bake the cake in a kadhai or a pan or a pressure cooker, add some salt, place a stand and at medium flame preheat for 10 minutes. The color of my salt looks different because I have reused it multiple times for baking. The milk will slightly curdle after resting, that's absolutely okay. Next add vanilla essence and 3 tablespoon oil. Use any flavorless oil, do not use peanut, mustard or extra virgin olive oil. Give this a mix like for 5 to 10 seconds. Next add 3/4 cup powdered sugar. 1 tablespoon butter. Make sure that the butter comes to room temperature and becomes soft. Or you can add melted butter. Let's sift together the dry ingredients. So add 1 cup maida. You can use whole wheat flour in this recipe. 2 tablespoon cocoa powder. I'm using Dutch processed. 1 teaspoon baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon baking soda. Sift a little dry ingredients at a time and mix. If you use whole wheat flour, that is गेहूं का आटा, you might need 1 to 2 tablespoon more milk. I like to start mixing the batter with a whisk and later switch to a silicone spatula. It makes it easier to remove the lumps and to not overmix the batter. Here I've got an 8-inch baking mold with a parchment paper at its base and I've applied oil on the sides. You can see the OTG or convection instructions on the screen and you can follow them to bake this cake in your OTG or convection. I'm placing this cake mold in my preheated pan. So initial 10 minutes at medium flame and then at low flame for 35 to 40 minutes. So total around 1 hour time this cake would require. Insert a toothpick or a knife in the center of your cake. If it comes out clean without any batter, that means your cake is done. Next step is to let the cake cool down. So cover your cake with a cloth, preferably a cotton cloth, and let it sit and cool down. If you do not want to use a bigger mold, you can use small molds. So you can use 4-inch cake molds which you get online or in shops. And with this recipe, with this amount of ingredients, you can make 4 4-inch cakes. I've got a 3-inch cookie cutter and this cookie cutter fits in my bento box, so I'm using it. But you can also use a 4-inch cookie cutter if it fits in your bento box, or you can use a 4-inch cake mold to bake your cake. With this recipe, with this size of cake and this method, you can make 3 such bento cakes. But if you use 4-inch cake molds, then you can make 4 bento cakes with this recipe, with this amount of ingredients. You can make cake pops with the leftover cake, or you can serve this cake with some ice cream and chocolate syrup, or you can eat this cake just like that. To make the ganache, here I've got ½ cup whipping cream. I'm using dairy whipping cream. You can use your regular fresh cream or you can use dairy whipping cream for this recipe. Then add 1 cup dark chocolate. You can use milk chocolate or you can use dark compound. If you have a microwave this for 1 minute and around 20 seconds. Alternatively, heat this mixture on very low flame till this mixture becomes smooth and you get a nice smooth and glossy ganache. Let the ganache come to room temperature and after that set this in your freezer for 10 minutes. So approximately 7 to 10 minutes you need to set this in your freezer. After keeping the ganache in freezer for 7 to 10 minutes, next step is to whip it. So whip it till it becomes smooth and fluffy. But make sure you do not over whip it, otherwise it would become very hard. Scrape the sides. This is the consistency we are looking for. It would be easy to spread this on the cake. The edges or sides of your cakes would be crumbly if you cut them out of a bigger cake, but if you bake them directly in a smaller cake pan, this won't happen. So if you cut out your mini cakes from a bigger cake, then first step would be to crumb coat the cake. crumb coat is applying a thin layer of ganache or frosting on the cake. So I've crumb coated the first one and I'm crumb coating the second one now. Though I have got a third cake, but I'm not showing that in the video. After crumb coating, set your cakes in your freezer for 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. The ganache is set. Next, I'm going to apply a second layer. You can decorate your cakes the way you want. I'm using a cake comb on the sides. Level your cake. I'm using a small butter spatula. It's not a regular cake offset spatula, it's a butter spatula. So the first cake is done. Cut your parchment or butter paper according to the size of your bento box. Repeat the same steps for the other cakes. To decorate the first cake, I'm using nozzle number 104. It's a rose petal nozzle. And finally, I am sprinkling some edible gold dust. This is totally optional. You can put some sprinkles if you want, or you can just skip that step. Next, I am using a regular star nozzle. You can add some sprinkles on top. Since these are bento box cakes, finally I am placing these in my bento box. So you can use any bento box or any tiffin box, or you can just place these cakes on your plate and eat them. The cake turns out moist and super rich, and ganache of course turns out very delicious. If you like this recipe, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Terrace Kitchen for more such wonderful recipes. Give this recipe a try and enjoy!